Well, hello and welcome to today's edition of the Pastor's Study. You know, Solomon just tells us some really good things for us to apply into our lives. And he speaks to us concerning our diligence and work. He says that laziness, that casting down into a deep sleep, being lazy, being idle, you know what happens to that individual, Solomon says? He goes hungry. Now, that hunger can spur that individual to get back to work. But it's important for us to understand the value that hunger can play. Hunger can cause us to be diligent. But he says, you know, if you're lazy, if you're slothful, you will suffer those consequences. You will be hungry, particularly in a society that was built around agriculture. You know, if you didn't get out there and work your fields, if you didn't get out and plant your crops, come harvest time, you had nothing to harvest. And you would spend the next year being hungry. You know, he says the individual who is careless in his conduct will suffer. He says he will die. You know, carelessness, sloppiness can result in death. You know, when you are not careful. I spent years working in construction, and sometimes you're in high, dangerous situations. And you need to be careful. You use security. You use the safety harnesses. You use all of the things to keep you safe. Being careless at that moment could cost you your life. He says, you know, the one who is generous to the poor, to those in need, to a real need, they're like lending to the Lord. And the Lord sees that. And it tells us, you know, he will repay him. That's the Lord would repay him. Because of his good deeds, because of the kindness that he shows. It's an important thing. You know, he says, the individual who disciplines his son while there is hope. He says that's important because he says there can become a time when it's too late. You know, you're trying to keep them from doing horrible things. Discipline needs to be done with love. Correction is done because we care, not because we don't care, but because we do care. That needs to come across in everything that we do because we're trying to keep people from harm's way. Think about that truth and think about how we live and how we love. When we help a person steer away from his great anger, we rescue him. He says, you know, the one with great anger, we tend to have to go back and rescue him again and again and again. Leave behind that anger. Love the Lord. Take loving discipline from him. Till next time in the Pastor's Study, goodbye, and may God